Hi, this is your host Swapnil Bharti and welcome to TFI Let's Talk. And today we have with us Devin Haynes, Senior Scrum Master at SIOS Technologies. Devin, it's great to have you on the show. What exactly is Senior Scrum Master? Tell us about what do you do at SIOS?
So as a Senior Scrum Master, I am basically in charge of the development teams and making sure that they have everything they need to be able to do their jobs correctly. So I help remove any impediments, help them with their planning, all the things that would be required outside of the coding part that they do. I kind of help the teams move forward and keep on track for our releases.
Excellent. Now I do know what you do there. Now, Devin, if you can also quickly tell about the latest, SIOS Protection Suite for Linux. What new feature enhancement are there for especially cloud environments?
Yeah, so as part of our release, we have for the Google Cloud platform, we are offering what we call the internal load balancer tool. So this tool really helps our customers be able to track that traffic to the correct active node through what we call a health check probe. So that health check probe finds in the application where that active node exists, and it makes sure all that incoming traffic is directed to that correct active node. So that's one new feature we have in the cloud this release.
And if you just look at high availability solutions, it's not that crowded market, but there are other approaches that Can you quickly talk a bit about how SIOS's approach is a bit different than how others approach high availability, especially for Linux?
Yeah, so our product is able to monitor each component of an application. So not just the server, but also the operating system, network, the disk, file shares, and lots of other things that are all included in that. And with that, we do that through what we call our application recovery kits. And so our recovery kits, they support SAP HANA, SQL Server, Oracle. I mean, we have many recovery kits. And these kits reduce that complexity it takes to configure an actual failover cluster. And it ensures that our application is failing over in accordance with that application's best practice. And so in addition, our users can also create their own custom recovery kits using a generic application, which is a great feature. So this gives our customers lots of options and numerous possibilities in terms of HA.
Who would you consider your competitor in this space?
So we have quite a few, I would guess. So we have a lot of the OS marketers have their own version of HA, but we really focus on people that can go through all different kinds of OSs, right? So we're not just focused on the one. We can support, RHEL and SUSE and lots of different ones. So we, are kind of in a place where we can compete with a lot of different companies in that space.
What are some of the challenges that they face? Because deploying something is easy, but you have to test it, you have to maintain it, you have to keep it updated also. So can you talk about what are the challenges that customers face when it comes to high availability and how SIOS helps them?
So some of the challenges I'm sure with customers are making that transition from a on-prem machine to the cloud, and there's a lot of differences in the cloud, and there's several cloud options. So at SIOS, we have solutions that accommodate a lot of those options. So we can help with your Google transition, your Azure, your AWS transition. A lot of companies aren't sure about how that setup works. So a lot of our tools really help that make that transition a lot easier. And our product really gives a clear way to do that setup without a whole lot of headache.
Now, let's go back and talk about SAP HANA. If you look at the SAP HANA environment, what are the challenges that companies face when they try to perform maintenance for application availability there?
Yeah, so a lot of the SAP HANA databases for some companies are very large databases. And companies don't like to take those down for a long period of time for maintenance. And so SAP HANA has a feature that's called the takeover with handshake that we've added to our kit as well. And what the takeover with handshake does is it allows you to suspend the primary database instead of shutting it all the way down and letting that backup secondary node take that primary role so you can perform maintenance. So it basically gives you a lot of that time back that you would have to, that you would lose if you had to do a full shutdown. So just by suspending that primary database instead of doing a full shutdown, that really, really gives a lot of our customers some time back in that maintenance window that they have.
If you just look at SIOS Protection Suite for Linux, of course, I'm not asking you to make any news announcements here, but if I ask you what kind of roadmap you have, or what are the things you are going to focus on going forward, what would that be?
Yeah, so we're going to continue our focus on the cloud, which is kind of where the business and everyone seems to be going these days. So focusing on the cloud with AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, getting our capabilities and enhancements there will really help our customers. So we're seeing a lot of traffic there. So that's what we kind of want to continue our focus.
Devin, thank you so much for taking time out today and not only talk about some of the features of the latest SIOS Protection Suite for Linux, but also talk a bit about the high availability market and also how you also help SAP HANA users. So thanks for your insight, and I would love to have you back on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.